Hi, my name is Franz Hartmann. I'm the Executive Director of Earthroots Canada. Welcome to Earthroots Provincial Election 2022 video podcast. It's Thursday, May 5th. Joining me as always is Gord Miller, Earthroots Board Chair and former Environmental Commissioner of Ontario from 2000 to 2015. Hello, Gord.
Good day.
Okay, to first-time viewers, welcome, and check out our other podcasts on the Earthroots Coalition YouTube page. To everyone else, welcome back. Today, we're taking a slightly different approach and answering a question about our actions. Why did the Earthroots Coalition, the non-charitable federally incorporated nonprofit, which is different from the Earthroots Fund, start running election ads on Facebook on Tuesday? Before we get Gord to answer that, here's a very quick overview of what happened on Tuesday. We launched a new website for the Earthroots Coalition, earthroots.ca, that features a campaign called Vote for Those Who Can't. And I just want to take you on a really quick lightning tour of that website. So you'll see here, you get to the home page this June, Vote for Those Who Can't. We've got 3 actions that you can take: share our ads, vote to see how to vote Doug Ford out, and give a donation so we can run more of these ads. And then, of course, the key thing is we've got ads. We've got 6 different ones, all featuring a different animal that's in Ontario with some copy. So urge you just to go to earthroots.ca to look at that. Now to you, Gord. Why did Earthroots Coalition do this?
Well, and as you know, as you sort of indicated, third-party election advertising is allowed under election law in Ontario. And the Earthroots Coalition, which is a non-charitable NGO, has registered with Elections Ontario to be a third-party advertiser. The environment is not getting enough attention in this election, and it deserves to get more. Now, the Earthroots Coalition has chosen to get the message out to the electorate that this government is not doing well by the environment. They are changing laws and passing policies that are harming our natural heritage. People need to know it is serious. Now, to be perfectly clear and emphasize what you said, we also have a separate charitable organization called Earthroots Fund, which gives charitable receipts for donations. No charitable funds are involved in this campaign. This is a separate initiative funded by activist donations.
Right. And so why does the campaign feature animals calling for Premier Ford to stop hurting them? Animals obviously don't vote.
Well, they don't talk, but they don't vote, but they are being harmed, and they have no voice in this campaign. And our ad gives them a voice. That's the imagery in the ad, and we hope that will alert the public to the need that the public has to speak up in this election on behalf of the living creatures and the natural heritage. That's the point. We have to give them a voice because they have no voice.
Yeah, yeah. And so why was the decision made to personally focus on Doug Ford?
Well, it's personally focused on Ford because it is personal. The premier of any government sets the tone, a vibe, a signal to his or her cabinet, and the whole bureaucracy, in fact, the whole government bureaucracy, on what the priorities are and how he or she wants things to be done. Well, this premier sends out a very strong anti-environment vibe, and that's why it's personal.
Yeah. And so what are some of those anti-environment vibes? You've been tracking Premier Ford since he was elected, probably even beforehand. What are some of the key issues that you think are so egregious that it requires the Earthroots Coalition to take this action?
Well, people are focused on the effect of some of his proposals, his highways and various initiatives thing. But the key thing is the way he's cut the people, the citizens, the people out of the decision making about the natural environment. The reason that people are alarmed that endangered species are being harmed, eliminated, and there's not enough planning or consideration is because there isn't any planning or consideration. He's cut the public out of the decision-making process. He got rid of the environmental commissioner's office, for instance, a voice for the environment that spoke directly to the legislature. So he has done things that silence the people's participation and then allows him and his government to make very unwise decisions about planning and development in this province.
Yeah. And for viewers, if you want to learn more about some of the things that have happened in the last 4 years by this provincial government, just check out the 2 other or in fact, many other videos on the Earthroots Coalition video channel that kind of dig into that. So thank you for that, Gord. So to viewers, yeah, please go to earthroots.ca, check out our 5 ads, get them out there, post them, use your social media channels, cut and paste them into emails, whatever, get the word out there. And please go vote on Election Day on June 2nd. Okay, so let's move on to a discussion of an environmental issue that's been in the news this week. Yesterday, a number of environmental groups issued a media statement that the Ford government once again violated the Ontario Environmental Bill of Rights. I should note that the Earthroots Fund did sign on to that. So what happened there, Gord?
Well, it's just another example. In fact, they passed a piece of legislation which had a number of changes that many people feel are deleterious to environment and environmental protection. But the key message, the reason that all the groups got together and signed a letter is that yet again, they did this without the consultation required by law. The law says you have to notify the public of significant environmental decisions like changing laws and changing major policies. And you have to give the public a chance to comment and participate in that decision making, even if in the end of it, you ignore their comments and things. And of course, some governments do that. But in this case, again, the Ford government, even though they've been convicted in court of doing this before, yet again, they moved ahead and didn't do the required legal consultation, didn't allow the people of Ontario to participate in government decision-making about the environment.
Yeah, and for those viewers interested, Bill 109, which is what this focuses on, has some fairly radical changes to how municipalities do planning, how the citizens and residents can get involved in the planning process. Bottom line, they changed it in a way which I think will cause a lot of harm, especially to wilderness areas in and around the Greenbelt and around the Greater Golden Horseshoe. Okay, so let's now end with a question submitted by an Earthroots supporter, rather timely question. Karen wrote, which premier has done more damage to the environment, Doug Ford or Mike Harris?
Well, of course, Mike Harris has been painted for many years as this dark lord of the environment, and he, when he took over, he had to make some tough decisions, and certainly in social services and education and a number of things. But his environmental record stands out in a positive way. I mean, the Harris government brought in the Oak Ridges Moraine Protection Act or Conservation Act, and of course that protected the Oak Ridges Moraine from adverse development. And that was later expanded to by the Liberal government to what we now call the Greenbelt, which we all cherish, and which Doug Ford, is constantly attacking by various kinds of overrides and adjustments and things. So, but of course, the other thing, in the Harris government brought in the Ontario's Living Legacy, where they formed 378 provincial parks and conservation reserves and protected the vast area of Northern Ontario called the Area of the Undertaking, where the forestry is. They protected 12% of it for all time. So that's a pretty good legacy. The Ford government does not reflect anything like that. They have sending quite the opposite message, which is, oh no, in the name of development, we have to override those protections for the environment and the green belt and elsewhere. So it is, there's no choice there. The Harris government was far more positive environmentally than this government, which speaks to how much we should be concerned about.
Yeah. So bottom line, it's not necessarily, progressive conservatives have a proud history of supporting positive environmental issues and also when in power, making some important environmental steps forward.
Well, they did up till recently.
Yeah, but this particular version of it, or this particular leader, unfortunately, is not following that his party's tradition. Okay, well, that's it for our May 5th provincial election 2022 video podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and, more importantly, learned something useful. If you did, please share this link with your friends and family, and share the links to the other podcasts that you'll find at our YouTube channel. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, if you have any questions or comments, reach out to us via our social media channels or send me an email to Franz, F-R-A-N-Z, @earthroots.org. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
Thank you.